Hi, Event Masters. Welcome back to the channel where we educate, discuss, and we give tips regarding the event and wedding industry. However, we also touch on things that other people in different industries can benefit from also. And so today I wanted to talk about, um, and this is like sequel number three because I want to talk about the silent client, and why I consider them a silent client. But we're going to be mixing it up, sort of, with branding because I promised I would talk about branding. And in the previous video, clients, the sequel number two, talking about the toxic client, I mentioned about your branding and how certain things um, determine the type of client that you may end up with or the type of client you are attracting to yourself. So let's just get right into things. I wanted to touch bases, and yes, I do have some bullets here that I outline that I want to make sure I touch on these things and to keep me focused because when we talk about branding, branding covers a lot of things, a lot of different elements. And, the first thing we think about when someone talks about branding, you want to talk about logos or pretty packaging. Um, Everybody, that's the first thing that pops into your mind. However, we're going to go a little deeper into things, and that's why I say that it affects the type of client that you're attracting to yourself. And so they are really um, kind of observing you. And that's I call them a silent client because I am a preschool teacher also, and normally we observe children. And when you're observing children, you you're very quiet. You don't engage much with them. You sit there silently, and you just observe what it is that you're seeing. And so the silent client can definitely be, hmm, not a promoter for your business, simply because of what they are observing when it comes to your business. And so when you are, let's take social media for instance, because that's where we are 90% of the time. That's where we are. That's where our businesses are. Some people, their businesses there 100%. Everything is on social media. Your whole shop is set up via Instagram, Facebook, one or the other. You choose, and so the clients, they have access to you all day long. And when I was speaking about the way you handle things on social media when it's on that platform, it can be detrimental to your business simply because that silent client is observing you. Those are potential clients. And sometimes I think we forget that um, people are potential clients. And so the way that you um, take care of business, the way you handle business, your brand identity, you're building your brand identity when you're out there on that social media platform. And therefore, the client then is observing your personality. They are observing um, your mission statement because I know on some, each one of the platforms have where, you give this little general statement. And within that statement, like a mission statement, your tone shows up there within that statement. And so that silent client, they're checking all those things out, and it really helps determine who is actually inquiring, um, when it comes to the type of client you're trying to attract. And so all those different things, even your values. When I spoke about the three different scenarios, they were being handled in sort of like three different ways. Well, they were three different versions. And because of the level of experience that each one of those vendors had in that toxic video, toxic client video, those vendors were handling things as best as they knew how. But on the other hand, before those clients came to them, believe me, they were silent clients. And so they were reading and observing what you may have there present for them to be able to judge you on, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're judging you, and they're judging your character. As I said, they're judging your values, your personality. It gets really hard. Have you ever got one of those text messages and you read it one way, which was your interpretation? You read it one way and you responded to it in the way that you interpreted it. But when you sent it back to the other person, they respond back like, no, that's not what I was talking about. And so it becomes very, very hard to communicate in this new world that we have of technology. And um, to me, technology has kind of put that wedge in between you and the client to be, because of just how we communicate. And so communication is key. The tone of voice is key. And so you really, really, really have to observe and be clear in your details and how you are saying things. How, you say something and be like, that's not exactly what I meant, but it just came off that way. And so you have this silent client in the background that is listening to the way you do things and how you handle your client. And so then they make this determination on whether or not, do I want to deal with this person? Is this person for me? Is this business for me? Maybe I can find someone different to use, another vendor to use. And so it is very, very, very important when it comes to that silent client, because while you are thinking that you're putting out this one fire with this client, in the background you may have about 10 other clients that is silently observing you. And so we have to be aware of this and how we problem solve, how we manage things when it comes to this industry. Because yes, it is what, $1 billion industry. However, you may be getting hundreds of dollars simply because of how that silent client is viewing you and how you are branding, because you yourself is the biggest part of your brand. And therefore, if you are unhinged, so to say, for a better, you know, if you're unhinged or always becoming unhinged, then who's going to want to, you know, what bride or what client is going to want to do business with you? Because they're going to think that, okay, well, are they this way with all of their clients? And so, therefore, you definitely have to be careful. You have to be cautious, especially because, we are on social media and, you know, you'll say things, and I don't know. I have yet to see where someone retracts what they've said. And of course, you get the stars and those people. But I have yet to see someone in the industry that may have, said something and then come back and retract what they said and stated, oh, no, I meant to say this. But even that can be a little sticky simply because, you know, you're up for public opinion. And so some people are going to say, oh, well, they only said that because, XYZ. And, oh, yeah, they realize that now this may affect their money bag or, that type of thing. And then they won't know just how sincere you are should you have to retract something. And so my thing is that don't put yourself in that situation. I believe in letting the dust settle before I address something. That's just a part of my customer service. I'm sorry about that. Just going off. I forgot to. Oh my goodness. Um, yeah, I believe in definitely letting the dust settle before I address anything because um, you want to de-escalate situations. You don't want to escalate them because it's just nature. I've just seen it. A lot of people they listen to react, and they're not listening to really hear what's really going on. And so I've had a lot of experience in customer service, and I have always believed to, you know, de escalate things, let things settle down. It's like that husband and wife thing going on where it's been a big argument, blowout, and da 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 da, and it just this back and forth that's going on. And honestly, had one of the two said, "Ooh, I'm gonna let you cool down," you know, and that's just a part of me. I'm that type of person. I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna let the dust settle, and then you address things. You get a clearer mind. You know how to handle things better. You're definitely being conscious of how you're explaining things and the way that you're explaining things. And so that's why I always still say that um, your branding definitely plays a major role on the type of client that you're attracting, um, even the client that you miss. Yeah, that client that you miss, believe me, your branding it played about 85%, and you're not getting that client, or you're attracting um, the client that you really don't want. And so we have to really be conscious of these things um, when it comes to our branding because the client has definitely, they'll never say it, but and then some are. I've had a couple of clients say, "Oh yeah, I checked you out. Da, 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 I went here," and the first thing they'll say is, "I went to your website." I'm like, okay, which I don't have a problem because I worked almost 6 months um, getting my website together and the tone of what I wanted um, to be on there when they read my mission statement or the about us statement. It's it all fits. It all fits together, and so that silent client is definitely listening. They're silent, they're listening, and they're observing. So make sure that you are aware, you become aware. You know, if you weren't aware, I'm glad that I'm sorry you guys. I thought I silenced this. I did. Mm. Make sure that you're aware of how you're handling things. I hope I have given you some tips on how to handle some things. Um, Please like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and it will let you know exactly when I am releasing another video. Um, I want to do a decluttering challenge. I have thought about doing it for the month of December because we do need to declutter some things when it comes to business for ourselves. And you don't want to go into the new year, you want a clean slate. Um, and so, yes, I'm thinking about the decluttering challenge. Another video I'm thinking about is how is social media working for you? I'm really concerned about that. I think that may be coming out soon. I want to get some other information to back me up on what it is that I'm thinking about. And when it comes to that, and what information I want to put out when it comes to social media, um, yeah. But if you have a suggestion on what it is that you're interested in or a topic that you may want me to talk about, comment below, share the video, let your other friends know. And yeah, remember, you rock. You are an event master. And if you're not, you need to start thinking of your way as thinking about yourself as being one. And so you just grow every day and be consistent because believe it or not, consistency affects your brand too. So you have to be consistent when it comes to branding. And yeah, until next time, event masters, as I stated, you rock.